Blood is thicker than water. That's the lie they sell you, isn't it? The idea that family will always have your back, no matter what. But what happens when the people who brought you into this world decide that your success belongs to them? 3 years ago, I bought my first house. It wasn't a mansion, just a modest 3-bedroom fixer-upper. I scraped together every penny, worked double shifts, and sacrificed my 20s for it. My parents didn't contribute a single dime. But that didn't stop them from dragging me into a sterile, cold courtroom, demanding I sell it to pay off my brother's reckless debts. They thought I would cower. They thought I would fold under the pressure of family duty. They were wrong, and by the time the judge brought his gavel down, my parents had lost a lot more than just a lawsuit. To understand the audacity of their lawsuit, you have to understand the dynamic. I was the workhorse. My older brother David was the golden child. David could do no wrong, even when he crashed cars, tanked businesses, and drained my parents' retirement fund. When I closed on my house, my parents insisted on being at the signing. "We just want to be there for support," my mother had said, her eyes gleaming with a strange intensity. During the paperwork chaos, she casually suggested I put her name on the deed for emergency purposes. I refused. I politely, firmly said no. I saw the flash of anger in her eyes, but she masked it with a tight smile. Fast forward 2 years. David's latest brilliant business venture, a luxury car rental service, collapsed, leaving him $150,000 in the hole. The creditors were circling. My parents were tapped out. That's when the certified letter arrived. I opened it at my kitchen island, the very island I had built with my own hands. It was a summons. My parents were suing me. They were claiming promissory estoppel and unjust enrichment. Their lawyer crafted a vicious, fabricated narrative stating that they had provided the $60,000 down payment for my home as a loan, and because I was refusing to pay it back, they were demanding the immediate forced sale of my property to recoup their funds. Why this section works. It establishes the golden child trope and the specific financial betrayal, giving your 65-plus audience a clear villain whose entitlement violates traditional values of hard work. Panic is the first reaction, but anger is the cure for panic. They assumed I was disorganized. They assumed I was the same quiet, compliant teenager they had bullied for years. They didn't realize that when you grow up with manipulative people, you learn to keep receipts. I didn't just hire a lawyer, I hired a forensic accountant. We didn't just pull my bank statements, we pulled every digital footprint of that down payment, every wire transfer, every paycheck stub, every tax return. But my golden ticket wasn't a bank statement. It was a voicemail. A drunken, furious voicemail my mother had left me 6 months prior, screaming about how unfair it was that I had a house while David was struggling, and threatening to take it from me if I didn't help my brother. I handed it all to my attorney. He listened to the tape, looked at the meticulously organized financial binder, and smiled. "They just walked into a buzzsaw," he whispered. The courtroom smelled like floor wax and regret. My parents sat across the aisle, looking smug. David was there too, wearing a suit that cost more than my first car, looking bored. Their lawyer painted a heartbreaking picture of elderly parents betrayed by a greedy, ungrateful child. My mother even managed to squeeze out a few strategic tears on the stand, swearing under oath that she handed me a cashier's check for $60,000. Then, it was our turn. My lawyer stood up. He didn't yell. He didn't theatrically pace the room. He simply approached the bench and submitted Exhibit C, the complete, untampered timeline of my finances, proving the money originated from a high-yield savings account I had held since I was 18. Then he requested to play Exhibit D, the voicemail. The audio echoed through the silent courtroom. My mother's venomous voice filled the air. "You selfish brat. You don't deserve that house. If you don't take out a loan for David, your father and I will find a way to take that property from you. We'll say we paid for it. Who do you think a judge will believe?" I watched the color drain from my mother's face. David suddenly looked incredibly small. The judge, a man in his late 60s, who had clearly seen every ugly shade of human nature, took off his glasses. The silence in the room was deafening. The judge didn't just dismiss their case. He eviscerated them. He stared them down and delivered a blistering lecture on perjury, family manipulation, and the abuse of the legal system. He ruled a dismissal with prejudice, meaning they could never sue me for this again. But he didn't stop there. He ordered my parents to pay 100% of my legal fees. And because they had lied under oath in an attempt to commit real estate fraud, he forwarded the transcript of the hearing to the district attorney's office. My parents tried to ruin my life to save the son who had already ruined theirs. In the end, they lost their savings paying my lawyer. David declared bankruptcy anyway, and I went home, to my house, and I locked the door. If you believe justice served cold is the best kind of revenge, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Have you ever had a family member try to claim your hard work as their own? Tell me your story in the comments below. Until next time, keep your receipts.